Good afternoon, everybody. Anthony Aniano here of Rotoballer Radio and Rotoballer.com. Happy to be with you as we take a look at the waiver wire for Week 2 of your fantasy football season at the wide receiver position. Full disclosure, recording Sunday evening before the Sunday night and Monday night games, so things can change over the next 24 hours with players emerging over those two games. But it's an early look at the Thursday and Sunday daytime slate. Players who have emerged on the waiver wire. Using Yahoo.com percentages, trying to keep it at or below 50%. Injuries of note at the wide receiver position. Wan'Dale Robinson of the Giants. Keenan Allen with a hamstring injury, left the game and didn't come back. T. Higgins of Cincinnati with a concussion, left the game and did not come back for the Bengals. Okay? The key for me at the wide receiver position is targets. And we start at number 5 in Cleveland with a lot of targets heading to Donovan Peoples-Jones. Only 4% rostered. He was a favorite of Jacoby Brissett. Targeted 11 times on the day. 6 receptions, 60 yards. That's 12 PPR fantasy points. Did not get in the end zone, but a juicy matchup against the New York Jets where multiple Baltimore Ravens wide receivers were able to exploit that young Jets secondary. At number 4, continuing the theme of targets, okay, is Robbie Anderson of the Carolina Panthers. Only 10% rostered, and he was a favorite of Baker Mayfield. Targeted 8 times, 5 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown. A big game for Robbie Anderson. He goes for 21.2 fantasy points. Week 2, Carolina is on the road against the New York Giants, coming off an upset victory over the Tennessee Titans. At number 3, I don't like to do this, but I'm naming 2 guys here at number 3, and that's the Washington Commanders combination of Curtis Samuel and the rookie Jahan Dotson. Curtis Samuel only 4% rostered. I have to mention him because he was targeted constantly by Carson Wentz, 11 times in fact. 8 receptions, 55 yards, and a touchdown, 19.2 fantasy points. He also rushed 4 times for 17 yards. It was obvious Washington was trying to get the ball in Curtis Samuel's hands. He touched it 15 times, finished with 19.2 fantasy points. Along the same lines in Washington, Jahan Dotson, the rookie, I believe he was the 15th overall pick if I remember correctly, only 23% rostered, and he was an end zone target of Carson Wentz on multiple occasions, and finished 3 catches, 40 yards, and those 2 touchdowns. Both of them against Detroit. Okay, Philadelphia was able to exploit the Detroit defense consistently, and you have 2 guys, Samuel and Dotson, who both finished with over 18 fantasy points. At number 2, the veteran, Jarvis Landry of the New Orleans Saints. Jameis Winston looked to Michael Thomas quite a bit, and he looked to Jarvis Landry even more. He's 42% rostered on Yahoo. He was targeted 9 times, 7 receptions, and 114 yards. That's 18.4 fantasy points. What could be a shootout next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And number 1, and he was on my, if you saw my sleeper and value playlist that came out here on YouTube on Saturday, you heard the name Devin Duvernay. Well, Devin Duvernay produced better than I even thought. 4 targets, caught them all, 4 receptions, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns as the Ravens exploited that young Jets secondary. 21.4 fantasy points for Devin Duvernay. Goes up against the Miami Dolphin defense next week in Week 2. So to recap, the Week 2 waiver wire at the wide receiver position, number 5, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Number 4, Robbie Anderson. Number 3, the Washington Commanders combination of Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson. Number 2, Jarvis Landry, the veteran. And at number 1, Baltimore Ravens, Devin Duvernay. All right, everybody, make sure you head over to rotoballer.com right now. Check out all the great waiver wire content. Other players I didn't mention, they'll all be there as well. Follow me on Twitter at @Aniano Fantasy. Like and subscribe right here to the Rotoballer YouTube channel. Stay smart, stay safe. Good luck working that waiver wire, and we'll see you next time, folks.